You were not sent to heal the light, you were sent to awaken the shadow. You didn't wake up this morning expecting to meet this message. But the truth is, this message has been chasing you through lifetimes. You felt it, haven't you? That pull beneath the surface of your spiritual journey. The part of you that never fit into the sanitized, love and light only version of awakening. The part that was never afraid of the dark, but of what would happen if you entered it fully and never came back the same. We've been taught to fear the dark, to run from pain, to cleanse, clear, fix, and raise our vibration so we never have to look beneath the surface. But something in you didn't buy it. Something in you knew that the real power, the forbidden wisdom, was hidden in the places everyone else avoids. That's why your awakening looked nothing like the others. That's why your spiritual path felt more like descent than ascension. That's why, instead of floating away into bliss, you were dragged deeper into your shadow, your rage, your grief, your chaos. And that descent wasn't punishment. It was initiation. Because you, my friend, are not a light worker. You are a dark chosen one. And the shift has begun. Becoming a dark chosen one is not a title. It's a cellular transformation. It doesn't arrive through a certification or ceremony. It arrives through collapse, through breakdown, through the death of everything you thought you had to be in order to be worthy of the divine. The first sign is that your life begins to fall apart, not because you are cursed, but because your old self can no longer carry the voltage of your truth. Your soul begins to sabotage anything that is not aligned with your full spectrum power. Toxic relationships, spiritual bypassing communities, surface-level jobs, false identities, they all begin to rot in your hands. You try to save them, but they slip away. Why? Because the dark chosen one cannot build their temple on foundations made of denial. You are here to become the embodiment of the shadow's wisdom. And that wisdom doesn't arrive wrapped in white robes. It arrives in ashes. It arrives in silence. It arrives in the moment where you scream into the void and realize the void is screaming back with love. That's the paradox. The dark isn't here to hurt you. It's here to initiate you into your sovereignty. And the moment you stop fearing it, it begins to reveal its codes. The second sign is that your emotions become uncontainable. You stop being able to spiritually regulate your feelings in the way you used to. Rage comes up unexpectedly. Grief explodes out of nowhere. You feel like a walking contradiction. 1 minute in deep compassion, the next minute ready to burn everything down. This is not instability. This is alchemy. You are becoming a vessel for the raw, primal forces that the world has exiled. And they are not chaotic, they are truthful. The dark chosen one doesn't suppress the storm, they become the eye of it. You're not here to be emotionally balanced by traditional standards. You're here to embody emotional truth so fully that it becomes medicine. Think about it. How many people have been healed not by your perfection, but by your honest presence? How many times have your tears said what others were too afraid to say? This is sacred power, but it will cost you comfort. It will cost you the illusion that you can be both liked and liberated. Because the dark chosen one doesn't come to entertain the world. They come to disrupt the world's delusion. And emotional sovereignty is their first tool. The third sign is that you stop chasing the light as an escape. You begin to realize that the light, when used to avoid the dark, becomes another form of illusion. You stop looking for angels to rescue you. You stop waiting for signs that keep you from taking action. You stop outsourcing your power to external high vibrations and start grounding yourself in your body. This is a radical shift. Because for so long we've been told that darkness is low vibration and that it must be transcended. But you begin to understand that darkness is depth, not deficiency. That some truths are too holy to shine. That some frequencies can only be accessed when you descend into the marrow of your being. You start to see that demons are not always evil. Sometimes they are coded fragments of your own forgotten power, waiting to be integrated. And when you stop fearing them, they stop controlling you. You meet them in the underworld and you no longer flinch. You look them in the eye and say, "Teach me." And they do. That's when the shift begins. That's when you stop being a seeker and start becoming a source. Not a source of light, a source of wholeness. So let me ask you, have you felt this shift? Have you noticed that your spiritual hunger isn't being fed by the same content, the same rituals, the same teachings that used to move you? Have you felt the urge to throw away your journals and scream instead? To stop visualizing and start embodying? To stop praying for peace and instead stand in your storm with raw electric presence? This is not regression. This is return. Return to the parts of yourself that were buried so you could survive in a world addicted to light. But survival is no longer the goal. Embodiment is. And embodiment requires shadow. It requires muscle. It requires rage turned into clarity, grief turned into boundary, fire turned into vision. You are not broken. You are not falling behind. You are becoming. And what you are becoming is not a polished version of your old self. You are becoming a threshold guardian of the sacred dark. The one who doesn't just walk others into the light, but walks them through the necessary death first. The death of illusion, the death of fear, the death of spiritual performance. And only those who've died that death can carry the title, Dark Chosen One. You were sent to awaken the shadow. You were not sent here to heal the light. The light knows how to heal itself. It's always been celebrated, always been worshipped. But the dark has been exiled, rejected, demonized, misunderstood. That's why you came. You came to awaken the parts of this world that have been buried under centuries of fear. You came to bring consciousness to what has been deemed unholy, unwanted. And that's the fourth sign. Your very presence begins to reawaken the shadow in others. You don't even have to say anything. You just walk into a room and people start getting uncomfortable. Old wounds rise, secrets tremble, masks slip. You trigger without trying, and for a long time you blamed yourself for that. But now you're starting to understand. This is your gift. You are a mirror that doesn't just reflect light, you reflect truth. And truth is disruptive. Truth is uncomfortable. Truth is what breaks illusions. So ask yourself, have you spent your life trying to dim your energy just to make others feel safe? Have you confused your medicine with being a problem? Because the moment you stop apologizing for your presence is the moment your power stops leaking and starts activating. That brings us to the fifth sign. You begin to experience sacred rage, not petty anger, not reactivity, but a deep, ancestral, holy fire that rises from your bones and says, "No more." This rage is not here to destroy, it's here to reveal. It's the rage of every silenced healer, every burned witch, every exiled prophet, every child who was told to be quiet when they were holding the truth. And you feel it all. The rage doesn't come from ego. It comes from memory, soul memory. You are carrying codes that activate through fire, and that fire is meant to be channeled, not suppressed. You may find yourself speaking up more, saying the unspeakable, calling out the systems that pretend to be sacred while hiding abuse behind their chants. That is the path of the dark chosen one. You don't just clear energy, you expose distortion. You don't just love unconditionally, you discern deeply. And when you speak, it cuts, not because you want to hurt, but because you refuse to lie. And that refusal is sacred. That refusal is what turns dormant souls into awakened warriors. You are not the destroyer. You are the reminder. The sixth sign is isolation, but not the kind born from loneliness. This is sacred solitude, chosen or forced, that begins to shape you into something unrecognizable. People fall away. Old alignments dissolve. You may feel like you're walking through a personal desert, stripped of validation, affirmation, or even direction. But don't mistake this for abandonment. This is activation. The dark chosen one cannot be shaped in a crowd. We are shaped in the void. We are molded in the places where no one claps, no one watches, no one agrees. You are being refined in silence for a reason, because your voice, when it finally speaks, will not be an echo. It will be an eruption. And to speak from that place, you must first unhook from the noise. The solitude is not your punishment, it is your temple. It is where you remember your sovereignty. It is where your true power is no longer diluted by the need to belong. So I ask you, when was the last time you allowed your loneliness to become your teacher instead of your tormentor? What if the void is not empty, but pregnant with your next becoming? And now we must touch the seventh sign, the one that terrifies and liberates at the same time. You begin to realize that you are not here to be saved by the divine. You are the divine disguised in density. The false duality between God and human, spirit and body, light and dark, it begins to collapse in you. You stop waiting for ascension and begin to descend fully into yourself. You reclaim your own bones. You don't just talk to your guides, you become one. You don't just invoke power, you embody it. And this embodiment isn't glamorous, it's gritty, it's inconvenient. It asks you to become both storm and stillness, both sword and salve. And this is the paradox of the dark chosen one. We are the ones who carry the divine frequency that doesn't fit in temples or teachings. We carry the wild god, the feral goddess, the cosmic silence that doesn't explain itself. That's why no one could label you. That's why no one could disciple you. Because you were never here to follow. You were here to remember. And in that remembrance, you become the thing the world forgot it needed. A being who walks with the dark, not to escape the light, but to liberate all of it.